So nobody saw this coming.
Nobody saw this coming, and there was no like Kaplan was saying this. If you're gonna have an inside job and you want to make it look like a real non-inside job, there should at least be somebody that gets sacrificed. Like if the security guard was in on it and they wanted people to think they weren't, there should have been some exchange of fire, or somebody got hit in the arm, in the leg, something.
Just right, something heroic.
Right. It's like, I tried to save the president and they shot me in my liver. Oh, here I am dying. It's like none of that. Nothing happened. Everybody was fine. They got in, killed the president, and got out. Which is like, what?
And how far did they get before they were arrested? Because they were arrested, right?
Yeah, I think they've arrested so far about 40 people.
That's crazy. So there were 40 on the night, or are they somehow...
Was it 40 on the night? They just kept rounding up people that might have something to do with it, that were connected to the people on the night. And it's Colombians and Venezuelans, and some of them were part of the Haitian police force. And some of those guys were trained by U.S. military. There's a whole lot of stuff to unpack with it. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
It's a wild case.
So I guess let's start talking about it. The president. I was reading about him, and what makes this it's not like such a clear case. There's gray areas because the president wasn't necessarily the most liked guy, as you said, right?
No, he was not.
He was not. How did he come to be president in the first place? What I read is that he's from the North. And a lot of the establishment, he's like an outsider, and a lot of the establishment politicians are from the South. What's the difference between the North and the South?
Well, the South has a lot of the bourgeois type of Haitians. A lot of them tend to be light-skinned. They have a lot of generational wealth. So they tend to have the power and just keep it between themselves. And a lot of them live in Port-au-Prince, the capital. And that dude was, he was a popular guy who had great ideas, but a lot of his ideas would contradict what the powerful people want. And those people, they've been running Haiti and making all the money for a long time. So if you come in and try to fuck with their money and their power, best believe there's going to be some resistance. So part of him being unpopular was mainly because of that, because he was fucking over those people, because he was kind of a man of the people. He wanted to do stuff that would benefit the average Haitian. And those people don't really care about the average Haitian. So there was a lot of machinations to make him look like a bad guy. And he wasn't the most popular guy with some of the people either. But I don't think he was an evil guy.
Okay. How did the bourgeois class get power in the first place?
Well, how much time do we have?
Yeah, is that a long one?
The history of Haiti.
Dissertation about the history of any country, Well, some of it has to do with financial and economic power,
Yeah.
If you have the money, that's a truism anyway. If you control the money, then you control everything.
Like in any country, the cities near the port are the wealthy countries because they can.
That's right.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You control the money, you control the ports, you control the entryways where money can be made, then you control everything.
Yeah.
And those guys have been doing that forever. And some of them are not. That's also a tricky thing. It's a source of contention in Haiti. Some of those guys are not Haitian in the sense of the Haitian because they've been in the country for at least 100 years and they speak the language. But they're not original Haitians. So that's why you'll see a lot of the powerful people in Haiti are very light-skinned. Some are straight up white. There was a lot of Syrians and Lebanese and people from that area that came to Haiti a while ago. And these people are very skilled in commerce. So they were able to consolidate and just run a lot of stuff in the country. And that power became very strong over a long time. So once you have that, it's basically a dynasty. They marry each other. They keep the money between each other, and they basically control all the politicians like puppets.
Yeah. I had no idea there was immigration from Europe to Haiti.
Yes. Yeah, it happened in the
early
1800s, very early on.
Before it was a country, right? Before it was independent, you mean? Or?
Well, even after. Some of it happened before, but most of it happened after.
Wow.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
he didn't come from this. He's how do I say
he's called the Banana Man was his nickname.
How do I
right?
say his name? Jovenel Moise.
Jovenel Moise.
Jovenel Moise.
Jovenel Moise. He did not come from that class, and he was known. Yes, you're right. He was known as the Banana Man. That was his platform. Like, I'm just gonna plant a lot of bananas. That's how we're gonna get this country on track. Bananas, baby.
He was a plantation manager, right? A banana plantation.
Yes.
Bananas will set you free.
Amazing. What was who was our? We had a president who was a peanut farmer. What was his name?
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, Carter was your peanut guy.
Lived him.
Yeah.
But
right,
yeah,
so
because his wife was referring to, I was reading, she referred to the people he was up against as oligarchs, I guess. Is that's what you mean? Like the rich? Because I didn't because I know Haiti is a very poor country. It's like, so I didn't realize there was so much wealth, but just consolidated some people.
That's billionaires in Haiti.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So I looked him up. He won in 2017, I believe. Was it 16 or 17?
Yes.
He won with 10% of the overall population of the country voting for him, but only 20% of the country voted. So he won 50% of the votes.
Right.
Why does no one vote?
Well, here's the thing, right? Which is why it's very difficult to call Haiti a full-on democracy, because to have a democracy, you would need to have, I would say, a majority of the population that can read and write and actually go outside and vote. That's already a problem. I would say about 40% of Haitians don't know how to read or write. So that's already not a democracy if you have 40% of the people not knowing what choice they're making or what's good for them or how to read something that the president wrote and is going to do. So that's a problem. And then to have them actually vote and have their votes count, the 60% that can read and write, that's also difficult because the country is not well organized. So even in America, you guys had like a very serious situation where people thought the election was stolen. So imagine in Haiti, where we're like years behind you guys and we have trouble with this shit. Almost every election in Haiti in the past 20 years, people have contested saying it wasn't real.
I mean, most of our insurrectionists could read and write, and look where they
exactly. Exactly. So maybe reading and writing
that was the problem.
Cracked up to be.
Yeah, not all it's cracked up to be. Actually.
Most of them, Kaplan. Most of them.
Yeah, but they couldn't read the conspiracy theories if they couldn't read. So.
But it does. Oh yeah, how are they going to supposed to read the Q drops?
Yeah.
But it is true. If only 10% of the people vote for you, then immediately that means 90%. You won, but 90% didn't necessarily care or aren't so invested in you. So it immediately becomes hard to maintain power, right?
That's right.
Wow. It
was a battle. And the thing is, there was this other situation where I don't remember exactly what happened, but there was a delay in the inauguration. So he became president like about a year after he got elected. So then they were trying to get him to the presidential term in Haiti is 5 years. So technically, 4 years into his term, that's supposed to be the end of his term because he got in a year after the election.
Right.
So they were trying to get him to leave to start the new process. But he said, because I got in a year later, I'm going to wait another year to finish my term like I'm supposed to. So that became a huge problem because the opposition and the oligarchs, as you call them, the people that were in power, they were like, all right, bro, it's been time. You got to leave now. And he said, no, I'm not leaving because I still have 1 year left because I got in a year late. Yeah, so that was at the source of a lot of riots and gang activity because the gangs, they can easily be paid to just, fuck shit up and create instability and turmoil. So there was a lot of that going on prior to the assassination, but we didn't know it was going to lead to an assassination.